Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport was extremely memorable. The movie, the acting, the fighting, everything was so memorable and remarkable that John Tobias and Ed Boon decided to draw inspiration from the main protagonist of Bloodsport and make, you guessed it, Johnny Cage. Fan favorite Johnny Cage may seem like an easy opponent to defeat with his easygoing and fun-loving attitude, but is he really that easy to defeat? The answer is no. With his nut punches and secret green energy, Johnny Cage is an unstoppable force. But what makes him so strong? Let's learn about it in this video. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Who is Johnny Cage? Now, before we get in too deep about Johnny's anatomy, let's talk about his backstory in short. Jonathan Carlston, better known as Johnny Cage, is a Hollywood actor in the Mortal Kombat universe. He is a struggling actor who joined the Mortal Kombat tournament to revive his career by proving his critics wrong. As his life would have it, he was often criticized for being one of those heroes who depended too much on the special effects and the stunt doubles. So to prove them wrong, Johnny decided to show off his actual fighting skills in the tournament. Johnny is a materialistic airhead, and he can be annoying a lot of times owing to his antics. That is why his actually pulling through to be one of the better fighters and playing a key role in protecting Earthrealm makes his character arc quite solid. In the Mortal Kombat X timeline, the Johnny we get to see is far more serious and does not have the same materialistic approach to things. However, the sense of humor he previously had remains, which makes his position as the comic relief pretty solid. The contrast between his previous version and the current version is highlighted in Mortal Kombat 11 because Johnny from the past gets to share the screen with Johnny from this timeline. In the Aftermath expansion, we get to see that even in the past, Johnny has become much more serious, especially when he is facing off against enemies like Sindel and Shao Kahn. If you are a Mortal Kombat fan, you would know that the series has several games and several timelines. So, in the new timeline, we get to see Johnny have a similar but different backstory. Here, we learn that Johnny is a struggling actor, but not because of his critics. This time, it is because he handles his finances badly. In the new timeline, Johnny had bought the Takahashi clan's sacred sword, Sento. This led to him and Kenshi fighting over the possession of the sword several times, as this sword had disappeared from the clan several years ago. Thunder God Raiden had referred to Johnny as, he is a hero, though he may not know it yet. And time again, Johnny has proved the god right because of his dedication and loyalty, despite his other character flaws. Overall, Johnny is our resident comic relief, who can kick ass very easily. How does he get his power? Is he linked to a cult society? Johnny has always had this air of arrogance about him. I mean, who does not know his signature line of, "I make this look easy"? So clearly, Johnny is a competent fighter, but with his frequent brushes with death, one might wonder what truly makes Johnny the way he is. Over the different installments in the series, we have seen Johnny do a lot of things that we had not expected of him. He had defeated Goro, which is a huge achievement in itself because Goro is a multi-limbed Shokan warrior who is not easy to defeat. Not only that, Johnny has gone up against Scorpion and won against him too. On top of that, we also see Johnny eventually beat Shinnok, the fallen god who is too strong to defeat. Clearly, there is something up Johnny's sleeve. We learn about the reason behind his high endurance and strength in Mortal Kombat 9. Here, we see Johnny boast about his mysterious green powers, which make it difficult for him to lose. We later see in the same game how strong these green powers truly are, because Raiden has to transport Johnny to the Realm of Order so that Johnny can properly harness these powers. These powers are a danger to civilization, as we learn in Johnny's ending for Mortal Kombat 9. Finally, fans get the answer to their most awaited question in Mortal Kombat 2011. We learn about Johnny's heritage, and it turns out he is a descendant of an elite Mediterranean group or cult of super warriors. This group was bred to possess superhuman might, and the green power that he boasts about is very similar to the Kai. This green power is what makes Johnny so strong and invincible. This power even gives him the ability to make his moves cause more damage than ever before, which makes Johnny quite the opponent to defeat. Does he have his powers in Mortal Kombat 1? Now, when Mortal Kombat 1 hit the stores in September 2023, a lot of fans were highly anticipating the changes in the game because everyone knew about the revamps that their fan-favorite characters were going to go through. However, the most surprising revamp was that of Johnny Cage. As we discussed a few moments earlier, Johnny had that green power that made him extremely strong. While Johnny's character arc overall from a materialistic, brash guy to a sensible guy is something fans like a lot, in Mortal Kombat 1, the developers decided to make Johnny far more relatable. In this revamped version, Johnny does not have his green powers. The whole hereditary green power, which left a trail every time he kicked or allowed him to shoot energy balls, was no longer a thing. In this version of the story, Johnny is a normal guy. Here, the focus is more on his ability to fight and hold his ground. He is a martial artist with a high enough speed. He keeps all of his combat moves that the fans have grown up to love over the years. But because of the lack of green powers, Johnny is now a close-range fighter as opposed to his previous long-range fighting style. In the gameplay, we notice that for Johnny, the player can boost him up twice. Normally, the character is boosted up thanks to the EX bar, but for Johnny, we have another bar called the height bar. With this bar being filled, Johnny gets extra EX moves outside the EX bars. On top of that, in the gameplay, we see that Johnny is so skilled that he can track the opponents and make them stop moving for a while. Now, with all of these changes, it is safe to say that Johnny we see in Mortal Kombat 1 is definitely far different than the Johnny we have known for so long. This makes his whole character arc of the rising underdog so much more relatable because we see Johnny struggle with his training, and when he finally yearns for his victories, it feels worth it. How is his body able to survive the death blow from Shinnok? When it comes to Mortal Kombat X, we get to have a deep dive into the whole character of Johnny that we did not get in the installments that came before it. In this particular installment, we get to learn about Johnny's past. Johnny is the descendant of a cult that was bred for supernatural war. This cult or group of warriors were from the Mediterranean, and they possessed superhuman might. This is something that Johnny ended up getting through his lineage. That is why we see him being able to throw energy blasts or have a green trail follow him every time he throws kicks. He can also propel himself forward with more force, thanks to this power. But we truly see the powers in action in Mortal Kombat X, where we see Johnny face off against the fallen god Shinnok. To save himself and his loved ones, Johnny tapped into this green power and ended up facing off against the god. During this match, we see Shinnok hit Johnny with his signature death blow. Surviving this blow is quite difficult for any fighter, no matter how skilled they are. However, when it came to Johnny, he was able to use the green powers of his ancestors to survive the death blow from the god. Not only did he survive it, but he did not end up with a single scratch on his body, which truly shows how powerful the green power makes him. Raiden later theorizes that the only way Johnny is able to access and tap into this power is when a loved one of his is in danger, and he has a strong urge to protect them. How powerful is his signature nut punch? Every fighter in the Mortal Kombat universe has their very own special moves. These moves make them quite memorable, and if the moves provide a huge amount of damage to the opponent, then that is just the best combination. For Johnny Cage, there are several moves that are strong enough, but one of the moves that he made a mark on his fans with is his nut punch, previously known as the split punch. As the name suggested, in this move, Johnny would do a split on the ground and punch his opponent straight in the groin, especially if it was a male. For female opponents, this move did not work because Johnny would do a split and get up. However, that was until Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat 2011, and Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks came out. In these games, the move worked on both men and women because of equality. In Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat 2011, and Mortal Kombat 11, the split punch was renamed into the nut punch. In Mortal Kombat X, the players get the option to make this move boosted, especially in the Red Shadow mode. In Mortal Kombat 1, which came out this year, the classic move is renamed again into Ballbuster. While this move is strong, there are stronger versions of this move. For example, in Mortal Kombat 2011, there is an enhanced version of Split Punch called Nutcracker. In this version, Johnny uses the green powers in this attack, causing bigger damage. Usually, after this, Johnny would give his opponents an uppercut, which could cause more damage. In Mortal Kombat 11, however, Johnny simply gives his opponents a mule kick instead. Also, in Mortal Kombat 11, if the first move is the Nut Punch, or it is used as a punish, the move becomes Crushing Blow, where Johnny shatters the facial bones of the opponent completely. So, no matter how goofy the whole idea of a fighter doing a split and punching the opponent in the groin seems, Johnny does it with style, and he really makes it look easy. Does he have any love interest? Can he reproduce? Now, as we know, life in Hollywood is very different from ours. More often than not, we hear about Hollywood stars going through divorces. As Johnny is a Hollywood star himself, he is bound to have marital issues. Throughout the whole series of games, spanning over 3 timelines, our Johnny boy ends up with 3 wives over the 3 timelines we have explored. In the first timeline, his wife is Cindy Ford. Cindy Ford is his wife, with whom he gets a divorce before the events of Mortal Kombat take place, so we do not get to know much about his relationship with her. In the second timeline, he dates Sonya Blade. Sonya and Johnny do not get off on the right foot. Actually, it is quite the opposite. Sonya does not like Johnny initially. However, as they both spend time together, a friendship and camaraderie form between them. Taking a shot at this camaraderie, Johnny and Sonya get together. However, this marriage only lasted until their daughter, Cassie, was born. Soon after her birth, they decided to split up and go their separate ways. By this time, Johnny had become much more serious and decided to be part of a secret special forces unit, even though it was under the command of Sonya. This leads to the occasional awkward awkward run-ins between the two exes. But overall, it is worth it because he gets to spend time with his daughter, Cassie. In the third timeline, his wife is Christina. Christina left him after there were issues with his financial decisions, owing to the luxurious lifestyle he led. Over the 3 timelines that we have covered in the games, Johnny is mentioned to have fathered one child, which is Cassie Cage, so there is no doubt about his reproductive abilities. How Johnny gets resurrected after his death. You know how there are some characters who just would not stay dead? Well, Johnny Cage is one of those characters. In Mortal Kombat 2, he was killed off screen in a battle with an Outworld extermination squad, but he decided to cheat death when there was a merger between the Earth and Outworld, as explained in Mortal Kombat 3. But this is not the only time Johnny Cage has cheated death. During Mortal Kombat 4, the last of the arcade series, the lore pretty much boils down to Johnny being in heaven, chilling until he decided that he did not want to stay dead anymore. For some spiritual or magical reasons, Raiden decided to give him his life back, and now, suddenly, Johnny was alive again, fighting next to Liu Kang. Johnny then has to face off against the elder god Shinnok, and he brushes off the god's death blow like it is nothing. Then, because it is fun to repeatedly kill a fan-favorite character and bring them back, there were multiple resurrections of Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat: Deadly Alliances. In Mortal Kombat: Deception, Johnny is alive, but then he is killed off again. But he does not stay dead because why would he? He is resurrected again, and this time, he is a slave of Dragon King Onaga. He is then freed by Liu Kang and Ermac from this situation. Then in Mortal Kombat Armageddon, Johnny is decapitated by some unknown foe. According to the words of the creator, John Tobias, Mortal Kombat endings really explore the what-if scenarios and are not canon at all. Marvelous verdict. Johnny Cage is a remarkable character. He may have started off his journey as a struggling hero who simply wanted fame, but in the end, he comes out of the whole Mortal Kombat experience as a refined man with dedication, loyalty, seriousness, and a lot more. He truly proves himself to be more than just a Hollywood star and goes down the path of being a true hero, just as Raiden predicted. And despite all the hardships that he faced on the way, Johnny Cage really did make being a hero look easy. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.